The background of modernism. Modernism comprised a broad series of movements in Europe and America that came to fruition roughly between 1910 and 1930s. Its major exponents and practitioners include Marcel Proust, James Joyce, Ezra Pound, T.S. Eliot, William Faulkner, Virginia Woolf, Luigi Pirandello, and Franz Kafka. These various modernisms were the results of many complex economic, political, scientific, and religious developments over the 19th century, which culminated in the First World War. The vast devastation, psychological demoralization, and economic depression left by the war intensified the already existing reactions against bourgeois modes of thought and economic practice. Rationalism underwent renewed attacks from many directions, from philosophers such as Bergson, from psychoanalysis, from neoclassicists, the new humanists, and neo-Thomists. These reactions were often underlain by a new understanding of language as a conventional and historical construct. The modernist writer occupied a world that was often perceived as fragmented, where the old bourgeois ideologies of rationality, science, progress, civilization, and imperialism had been somewhat discredited. The artist was alienated from the social and political world, and where art and literature were completely marginalized. Populations had been subjected to processes of mass standardization, and philosophy could no longer offer visions of unity, and language itself was perceived to be an inadequate instrument for expression and understanding. A distinct group of artist critics associated with modernism was the highly iconoclastic Bloomsbury group. This circle included Virginia Woolf, her sister Vanessa, agnostic philosopher Leslie Stephen, the art critics Roger Fry and Clive Bell, the economist John Maynard Keynes, the biographer Lytton Strachey, and the novelist E.M. Forster. Most members of the group fell under the influence of the Cambridge philosopher G. E. Moore's Principia Ethica. They saw this text as affirming an aesthetic approach to life inasmuch as it stressed the value of timeless states of consciousness that facilitated the enjoyment of beauty. This group also was influenced by the notion of time advanced in the philosophy of Bergson. It was during this period that the foundations of the new criticism was laid by figures such as William Emerson and I.A. Richards. I.A. Richards' Principles of Criticism, which was published in 1924, and Practical Criticism, which was published in 1929, were widely and enduringly influential. The literary artifact was treated as an autonomous and self contained verbal structure insulated from the world of prose, as in Richards's distinction between emotive and referential language. In France, the explication des textes, the explication of the text, was opposed by influential figures such as Bergson, whose novel conceptions of time and memory and view of art as uniquely transcending the mechanistic concepts of bourgeois society profoundly influenced authors such as Proust and other modernists. Paul Valéry formulated a criticism drawing on the earlier French symbolists, one which prioritized the aesthetic verbal structure over historical and contextual elements.